I am caught up with One Piece. The whole prodigious, vast, enormous storytelling that is One Piece. All the 1,043 manga chapters, the 1,010-ish anime episodes. I'm caught up with all of it. I got to go see different One Piece places in Tallahassee. There's like a Straw Hat Poke place that has like sushi and ramen, and they have it all like One Piece themed. I got video of it, but I've actually deleted all that footage, so I just have some Yelp photos. And then in one of the libraries at FSU, there's One Piece playing 24/7. And the anime category is growing in the United States. If you look at Netflix, I don't know if it's just because my feed is now geared towards anime, but Netflix is investing in anime. Attack on Titan, Demon Slayer, etc. The anime category is growing for sure. And I listened to like a Joe Rogan podcast, and Mr. Beast was on, and they were talking about anime and Demon Slayer. And One Piece made me appreciate anime, and I'm going to keep on watching it because I love the series so much. One Piece has everything I love in a story. Like, the world is creative. There's a bunch of different islands that are all so unique and thoughtful and articulate. There's a bunch of foreshadowing. The themes are great. And I just read a Gary V book, and the last sentence in his book is, there are different forms of privilege in society, but the ultimate privilege is peace of mind. The book was great. I'm not going to review it, but he says the ultimate privilege is peace of mind. In One Piece, the peace of mind gets translated to freedom because Luffy wants to be king of the pirates, which really means he wants to be the freest person in the world. And honestly, one of my like little dreams is to have a Model Y from Tesla with full self-driving, have Spotify and whatever other streaming services, have my mattress right there, and then just have Starlink attached and a little tiny kitchen, portable kitchen to cook some vegan food. And that's my freedom. I want to travel the United States and maybe go into Canada or Mexico with like the Tesla supercharging network. And that's one of my little dreams. And that's all about freedom and adventure. And those themes are heavy in One Piece. I don't know if those like tropes are heavy within all shonen anime, because I haven't watched that many anime shows. I watched like the first 3 seasons of My Hero, and My Hero Academia lacks so much compared to One Piece. Like in the My Hero Academia world, everyone has quirks, and it's just a bunch of high schoolers like rising up in status and fighting against like evil bad guys. But there's really no like direction. Like at least it was kind of like corny when like Luffy says in the first episode, I'm gonna be king of the pirates, right? And then that's like, okay, the end of One Piece. But it gives it a sense of direction, and then you just see everything building up to that ending. And we still don't even know what the One Piece is, but hey, we will eventually. And talking about the One Piece experience as a whole, what I did was I watched like 700 episodes of One Piece, got to Dressrosa like around the middle of it, and then switched to the manga because I could tell Wano was like coming to a close, and I wanted to catch up before the end of Wano, and that was a great decision. And right now, the anime has a pacing issue because they're taking like 70% of a manga chapter and putting that into an episode, and they're just having these like filler scenes. But the manga pace is spectacular. It's just really great. Starting with the protagonist, Monkey D. Luffy. I made a video on like the first half of One Piece, like the first like 500-ish episodes, like ending around Marineford and at the time skip. Arguably the biggest reveal in the second half in the New World, not Paradise, is the Will of D. Because you get Law and the whole Dragon, Garp, and Luffy family. And you got Portuguese D. Ace and Gold D. Roger and Marshall D. Teach. So you get a bunch of these characters with Willow D. foreshadowed since the first episode. This means something. Oda's using everything for a reason, at least mostly everything. And the reason we finally found out in the second half is just this will to go against the gods. And the gods currently right now in the story is the Celestial Dragons, who are on top of Marijoa. And that, I mean, could be the biggest reveal next to The reveal in the latest chapter in 1043. Oh my gosh, Joyboy, Luffy's Gear 5 awakening, his fruit. Oh, it's going to be so good. And this is like the current chapter. The current chapter is like one of the best chapters in history of One Piece, and I'm glad I'm caught up to see it. So talking about the Will of D, one of the scenes in the manga that really stood out to me, because remember I switched over to the manga, is this scene in the Reverie arc where all the leaders of the government are coming together. So we get this like cute scene of Vivi, Violet, and Rebecca and Shirahoshi like coming together to meet and like talk about Luffy a little bit. But like on that path, like Shirahoshi's like experiencing like Earth or the surface for the first time where all the sun is. And we get this like pivot to the underground where we have all these slaves carrying all the leaders of the government. And that is just a thought-provoking scene, because Oda, with this scene, with this theming of freedom, a contradiction to that is just completely the Celestial Dragons. That's Luffy's foil. Luffy's foil is the Celestial Dragons. That's why there will be a massive war at the end of One Piece that Oda says is coming, and it's going to be like Luffy, Dragon, and Garp fighting against the Marines and the Celestial Dragons, and it's going to be so exciting. And talking about like that slavery scene, there's many other indications that the Marines are corrupt, especially since Akainu's now the fleet admiral instead of Okiji, because Okiji seemed way more fair. And there's a reason why Garp doesn't want to become an admiral, because he doesn't want to serve these pathetic slave-owning people. So you have like just different scenes, such as like Charlos trying to capture Kamen or Shirahoshi. Then you have Nico Robin's background with O'Hara, with the Marines and the world government trying to cover up some void in the history, which we will find out, and that's going to be very captivating and exciting. And then we also have like Law's backstory, where the whole city was just sharing this like disease that made them wealth, and the Marines and the government are like, whoa, we're not touching you guys at all, we're not helping. So the Marines are corrupt, and that's partly why Water 7 is one of my favorite arcs, because that just whole Ennis Lobby thing with Luffy declaring war against the world government with Usopp going is just so awesome, because I just want to see the Marines come down. And maybe like a new version of the Marines gets installed with Kobe, who's like one of the first characters we meet. He's going to become a fleet admiral sometime. He's never going to beat Luffy in a battle, but him, Smoker, and Garp leading the Marines. Oh, Sword. So basically Sword taking over to become the new Marines, because Luffy, Sabo, and the world government face off against the Revolutionary Army. Big epic battle. That's close to the end of One Piece. And yes, that was a little bit of a ranting of just blah, blah, blah words, but I want to speculate on the future of One Piece. That's what I get to do now. Roll out my theories that Sake and Binks Sake is the Laugh Tale and the One Piece. But we'll get to that later. So Oda has a very laid out way of making these arcs. You first get to this new mystifying island that's super cool. Whether it's Punk Hazard with just this ice versus fire, or it's Wano with all these Japanese themes are just so good. Just makes me want to go visit Japan and learn the Japanese language, even though it's so difficult. And a bunch. You got Skypiea, which is a land in the sky, Fishman Island, a land in the sea. You could go on and on about all these different really cool and unique places that are introduced in One Piece. So you get to this island, you meet a local character, and this local character, and through just natural exploration, you find out that there's this callous, oppressive tyrant as a leader, whether that's Doflamingo, Big Mom, Kaido, Caesar Clown. In Fishman Island, I guess they kind of had like a nice kingdom, but like this I forget this character's name because it was just so irrelevant. The Arlong 2.0, and then you got Enel and Crocodile in the first Paradise part of One Piece. So you have this laid out structure, and then Luffy takes down the big bad boss, and then they have a huge celebration of freedom, which is kind of leading to my theory of the One Piece at the end. And obviously this takes place over every single arc, and I actually like that type of story. Like, I like finding out these new worlds, and it's completely different than the world we currently live in, and it just allows you to explore. And just like Luffy is, you're just exploring these new places with him. And I talked about it before, but the current story is in Wano, and oh my gosh, the scenes and the colors and the music, I forget the Japanese instrument, but it gets you in the vibe that you're just wearing a kimono with like these pink flower petals dripping down into your lap. Like, I'm just gonna roll this scene with Zoro slicing. It's like one of the first scenes in Wano. Omae! Hannin daro. And after Luffy meets Hama and like grabs a katana and actually like uses it, or not really uses it in battle, uses his own powers with just a sword just hanging there, he meets Zoro. And then we get the epic galvanizing leader in Luffy in the prison with the virus. And obviously the scene that makes or breaks Odin's backstory, the scene with him in the pot. And then one of the coolest reveals in all of One Piece. Not the reveals of like the bounties for Roger, Whitebeard. Those were neat. But when Roger's crew with Odin go to not Raft Hill but Laugh Tail. Oh, that's a
Joyboy, 俺はお前と同じ時代に生まれたかった。とんでもねえ宝を残しやがって。とんだ笑い話だ。なあみんな。800年誰も行きつけなかったこの最後の島にこんな名前をつけねえか。
That was me sharing my love for One Piece and the great story and universe that is in. I would just went to Disney World, and if there was a theme park of One Piece, I have no idea what the ride would be. Like, is it just a ride on like Monosuke's back with like a dragon? I don't know, but that's just the One Piece theming. You get all the different places. Oh, that'd be cool. And not to mention, a One Piece live action is coming out, and it's covering like the first part of the series, like when they're in, is it East Blue that Luffy starts his journey, and Luffy meets Zoro and Buggy and Kobe and Smoker at Loketown. Netflix is currently making a live action out of that. Their history of live actions with Cowboy Bebop being canceled has been subpar. Let's see if they can make up for that with One Piece, because Netflix could have a very good franchise on its hand if they do it right. But I have no idea how the CGI works for the Gomu fruit. To continue this video, I want to talk about 3 separate things. The first thing is I'm going to rank all the characters in the Straw Hat crew. And I'm going to talk about like different dialogue and different scenes and panels that just stuck out to me with that character and why I love them. Number 2, I'm going to rank the arcs of One Piece and talk about which ones are my favorite and why some are just meh and mediocre. And then third, I'm just going to talk about the future of One Piece, because we have some things to be revealed, because One Piece only has about like 400 more chapters to go, maybe 300, 250 more to go. So approaching the end. Ranking the Straw Hat crew, number 1, the protagonist of the story, Monkey D. Luffy, from episode 1 to episode or manga chapter 1034? Is it 34 or 43? 43. It's just the journey of Luffy. And he's an amazing character, amazing traits, even though he's a little bit selfish. Then we have Roronoa Zoro, going to become the world's best swordsman. Then we have Brook, who's also a swordsman, but his specialty is being a musician, which Luffy so desperately wanted. Then 4 is Nico Robin, who was on Crocodile's crew and then switched over to become a Straw Hat. Then there's a tier. Then we have Chopper, Usopp or God Usopp, Sanji, Nami, Super Frankie, Super. Really don't care for Frankie that much. I mean, I really liked him pre-time skip, but then post-time skip, he's just a robot. And then haven't spent that much time with Jinbei or Yamato yet. Jinbei had a pretty cool moment against Big Mom when he showed no fear, and then Yamato against Kaido when Luffy was unconscious. So that is my crew ranking. And then obviously there's so many Luffy moments, like so many that I just adore, because Luffy's just, I could just cherish him so much. Just his values, his morals, his moral standing of just freeing up everybody, and his selflessness on the battlefield. It's just something to appreciate. So one Luffy moment that kind of exemplifies what I just said is when Luffy took out the mirror in the mirror world when he was facing Katakuri. I mean, that fight is just top tier. But that just shows how he's willing to like sacrifice himself above his crew. Then we have Luffy on Punk Hazard with Law. When like, are you gonna betray me? Nope. Luffy just says like, you're my best friend. That's all I need to know. Luffy, multiple moments on Wano. One when he wants to like get into a sumo fight. He's just excited to wrestle. Another is when he's like in the ring against Queen and he's like, I decide when I'm gonna die. And obviously when he frees the soldiers, gets all the virus on him, and he's like, I'm gonna free you guys. I'm gonna free up Wano because it shouldn't be closed. People should be free all around the world to do whatever they want to do. And then we have Luffy and Sabaody when Usopp is begging Rowley to tell him what is the One Piece. Luffy's like, nope. If I get told it right now, I'm quitting. And it's a little bit selfish, but it's true. Luffy wants the pain in the journey because pain sometimes is pleasure. So we get Zoro, who has the third highest bounty in the Straw Hat crew, behind Sanji, even though he's stronger than Sanji because Zoro fought Big Mom and Kaido and King. Well, Sanji got stuck in a web and just fought Queen. Just saying that. All right, so Zoro moments. You can't say Zoro without bringing up Nothing Happened at Thriller Bark, just taking on the pain of Luffy, who's a rubber man, so he could take more damage than usual. And then Zoro just takes all that damage. The right-hand man is just right there for Luffy. There's a moment in Punk Hazard when Luffy's like running out of the room and Zoro's like, we're never going to lose again. And there's a moment in Water 7 when Usopp leaves the crew and Zoro tells Luffy, you got to be strong. There's no time without a captain. You got to have a firm stance. And Zoro's like, if you don't, I'm leaving the crew. Just epicness. And in Wano, he has these fearless moments against Kaido and Big Mom. One where he deflects damage from an attack from both of them, protects Killer, Law, Luffy, and Kid. And then in the next chapter, like 10:10, Zoro attacks Kaido and leaves a scar for him. Just, what a character. Just so cool. Obviously, he's like the second most mature. He's always sleeping. Just Luffy's right-hand man. Just how awesome is that? And then we have Brook. And Brook, a little bit of strange character to be this high up. At first, I was like completely diametrically opposed to him joining the Straw Crew. I was like, we're a crew full of humans. We're going to have some other types of creatures on here. And like, obviously, fishmen I'm completely fine with, but just like a talking skeleton, that's like so strange, even for One Piece. But it works. He's immortal, and his backstory was that he was alone on a ship for like 50 years. So he's a little cuckoo in the head, but those cuckoo-ness leads to him talking about panties, kind of being a pervert like Sanji, but toned down, kind of being like a swordsman like Zoro, but toned down, and then being a musician at the same time. Like, how awesome is that? And Brooks' skull jokes, I'm always here for it. I'm always here for that comedy because he's just hilarious. And like Wano, he just jumps on the back of Frankie. It's cute. And then on Whole Cake Island, he drinks milk to heal his bones with Luffy. It's just like all better. And then Zoro, when Brook cuts down Sanji from Black Maria's web, epicness all around. And in Punk Hazard, I'm pretty sure this is the first time Brook uses his like, this is like death world, or like hell is like super cold, and he uses that sword and takes down like part of the Brownbeard crew. I'm pretty sure that's a moment. Don't remember the specifics of it, but that moment was awesome. And I really like Brook. Swordsman, pervert, musician, just reliable, selfless crewmate. And he's a comedy relief character. So I like Brook. Lightens up the story when sometimes it gets super dark. And the next character who's really dark and just sees right through and is super straightforward with pain, death, anything, is the demon child, Nico Robin. And her backstory is Oh, her backstory is really good. From Ohara, she just wants to achieve her a dream of just finding out all of the knowledge in the world. And like the very first moment that stood out to me, not only is it that like Nico Robin's devil fruit is so legit, she was literally better than Luffy and Zoro when she was first introduced. Like now, maybe not, because Luffy's power scaling has been, wow, off the charts. But Nico Robin, when she was first introduced, she was a boss woman on her own. She could just hold her own. She was kind of number one on the crew. And over time, she's like found her place like third or fourth, depending on where you put Sanji. But Nico Robin in Skypiea, this was like her introduction to this crew, and she was flawless in this arc. Not only interpreting the poneglyph with Goldie Rogers' message at the end and finding out where the ancient weapon is, being Poseidon, which is Shirahoshi. I'm pretty sure that's what the information she found out as Skypiea. But also when she gets like defensive over one of these random enemies that the crew has to face. Don't have to remember his name because he's irrelevant now. She gets defensive over him destroying the lands, and she's like, nope, I am killing you right now for doing what you did when I'm trying to understand history, which is just, I love history. And my camera is about to die, but just other non-Straw Hat people I love. I love Law, Trafalgar D. Law. Oh, great character. I love Buggy, no longer a warlord. We haven't seen him since. Buggy and Mr. 3 as a duo. Comedic paradise. And then I love Crocodile. I really want to see him again. I love Smoker and Tashigi. They're a great duo. I love Kobe, even though we only get like a little bit of Kobe sprinkled here and there. He's great. I love Sabo. I love Ace as a character. Even though he's dead, we still get a bunch of flashbacks of him. Whitebeard's awesome. Roger's awesome. Shanks, I have no idea about his character, but he seems awesome. I'm excited to see Blackbeard again. Akainu, Okiji. So many great characters, and my battery just died. To continue this video, we're doing it on my iPad now, so that's the new camera. So we're going to talk about my One Piece arcs ranked. Number 1 is Water 7 and Punk Hazard. I mentioned it before in this video, just declaring against the world government. Talk about it more in depth in just a second. Number 2, Punk Hazard, the snow. Number 3, the Summit War Saga, Marineford, seeing all the universe's characters coming together to be placed against each other, and then the One Piece is real. Number 4, Alabasta Saga. Luffy declares he needs the meat after he dies to Crocodile. Or not dies, he just gets unconscious, like he does 20 times throughout the series. And then Luffy finally understands Crocodile's weakness and then takes down Crocodile. Great. I love Vivi. I love the build up to Alabasta, like the cake scene with Zoro. And Zoro's like, I'm about to cut off my arm while he's just stuck in this like pose with Mr. 3. That was great storytelling there. And I love like the giants too. And then like the build up to see who Crocodile was. I was like, this kind of feels like this guy's like Thanos. But he's kind of a little bit more evil in his morals. I mean, his motive is like obscure, but he's just this big bad guy. And Luffy takes him down. 5, East Blue Saga. Many people don't like the beginning of One Piece. That's just what I've heard. But I actually really like the beginning of One Piece. I just love how you go from Luffy and Shanks to finding Zoro with Kobe. And then we go to Orange Town with Buggy. And then we meet Usopp. And then Sanji against Don Craig. Even though those are like weak enemies, Luffy's taking down all them easy peasy. And your attitude is like, oh, Luffy's unbeatable. When he's clearly not. But he is in the beginning. And then we get 6 is the 4 Emperor Saga, which has Zhao, the Reverie, and Wano, even though it's unfinished. So it could actually go up depending on how Oda handles this Joyboy situation. Then 7 is Dressrosa. Just too much Colosseum fighting, even though the Colosseum is similar to the Rome Coliseum in real life. That's a cool parallel, but just too many useless characters. And Bartholomew, like, I like him as comedic relief, but Oda made him from like you hate him in the beginning to do like a 180 on that. And then we have Sky Island and Jaya. I really like Jaya because you get to meet like Doflamingo for the first time, and you're like, who is this dude? We know nothing about him. Then you get to see Blackbeard for the first time. You're like, okay, there's this dude preaching about dreams. Okay, cool. Then Thriller Bark. If the end party or the nothing happened didn't happen, this arc would have been probably switched with Fishman Island. But the next one's Fishman Island and Hody Jones. Hody Jones is the character I forgot earlier in this video. He's just so useless. He's literally Arlong 2.0. Like, really no need for a Fishman Island. I mean, I guess Brook finding that he could separate his soul and his skeleton was cool. And then we get Usopp fighting this mole who could dig holes through the ground. And then we get Charlie's prophecy on someone with a straw hat taking down Fishman Island. Just a very mediocre arc. After this time skip, I was super excited, and this one just made it more like mundane and just put a cap on my expectations. But then as soon as we get after Fishman Island, we get into this whole arc that ends at Wano. Just Punk Hazard. Caesar Clown gets defeated. And then we get Doflamingo, and Doflamingo supplies smile fruits to Kaido, and it's just Luffy taken down from the bottom up. And this is great. And then the last one is the Long Ring, Long Island. Not going to mention that at all, other than Luffy learns how to skate. That's all you need to know. So talking about Water 7, the reason why I love Water 7 so much is that it kind of breaks the typical Oda formula of just arriving at a new place and there's like a tyrant there that's just oppressing all the people, making them starve like Kaido does, or stealing their soul like Big Mom does, or just calling them guinea pigs like Caesar. Oda breaks that formula because Water 7 doesn't have this big bad guy. They have Iceberg, and Iceberg is actually loyal, smart, creates camaraderie with Luffy and the Straw Crew. But then Usopp leaves the crew because Going Merry is after Skypiea, and then we have Nico leaving the crew because Nico doesn't think she's worthy of living. And then we get the whole build up to Soji King and Nico Robin exclaiming, "I want to live." And other things that happen at Water 7, we get Luffy's speech on him turning into Gear 2nd, Gear 3rd. How awesome is that? Wasn't spoiled at all. I was excited to see Luffy's transformation. And then we get to see Chopper become into his monster form and how you have to truly embrace being a monster sometimes. And Chopper's monster form now is just him slapping Queen. How awesome is that? And we get to see Soji King and Zoro become a sword. We actually saw devil fruits for the very first time when the two characters on CP9 ate them, like the giraffe and then the soapy fruit, I guess. And Sanji has to face the soapy woman. I forget her name. And Sanji can't do that. So Nami has to take over, and Nami uses her new like Klima attack against her. So that's a great fight there. And obviously the whole declaration of war against the government. And obviously you get Impel Down there. No, is Impel Down? No, Impel Down is after that. But it's like all mushed together. Anyway, Water 7, you also have Gonbi. Gonbi's a great character. And Lucci versus Luffy is one of the best fights in One Piece history. Because I didn't know if Luffy was going to win there. because up to that point, Luffy was like losing some, winning some. And then after that one, you're like, okay, Luffy's going to win all his battles. Eventually, he just has to get to it and get back up. Because Usopp tells him, get back up, Luffy, get back up. And then Punk Hazard, you just get like so many Law, Tashigi, and Smoker moments. Love those characters. And the bunch of snow photos or panels. So Luffy's just in his parka. Zoro, Nico, Usopp, Brook, they're all dressed for the snow. It's great. And then when Luffy just pummels Caesar Clown with his like gear third, with his haki, just using his new found time skip skills against the genie pig Caesar Clown. What an epic moment there. And yeah, Summer War, you just see all the characters. I already talked about that. So those are my One Piece arcs ranked. And now we're going to talk about the future questions that I have for One Piece and Oda. And Oda doesn't have to answer all of them. He just has to answer like over 50%. And then I'll be very satisfied. So starting off with these One Piece questions, and then I'll talk about this latest chapter and how it connects to what I think or what I theorize the One Piece to be. And I didn't come up with this idea entirely. Watched some media about it and then came up to my own conclusion, like this could be it. So One Piece long-term questions. Are we going to Elbaf? Every single arc, as soon as we meet Kinemon and Monosuke, we knew we were going to Wano, because Oda's just very excited to display his Japanese culture. But after Wano, what's next? Is it Elbaf with Usopp finally leveling up, because he's by far the worst or the weakest Straw Hat on the crew? Not the worst, because I like his character and his nervousness, and he's a little bit more into our reality mindset than the other characters. Like Luffy is just unstoppable, and Zoro is like, I could do anything. And they're monsters, but Usopp's a little more down to earth like us. Number 2, will Luffy go to Gear 5 by awakening his fruit? Might be answered next chapter. 3, will Marijoa be taken down? Luffy has to take it down, right? Obviously. Number 4, will the Revolutionary Army fight against the Marines over the Celestial Dragons? Will we find out more about Koala, Saw, I'm pretty sure his name is, Monkey D. Dragon? Is their master plan just to take down the Celestial Dragons? What's their plan after that? Are they going to set up a new form of government? Don't know. Number 5, Luffy versus Shanks. We need more backstory on Shanks. Like, what is his ability with Haki? We need to know more, because Shanks, one of the characters that we first get introduced to, but just we know nothing about him. And then we need to know, like, Luffy versus Blackbeard, and then obviously a little bit more about Blackbeard. 6, does Kobe become Fleet Admiral? Smoker becoming Admiral? Question mark. What is the SSG with Vegapunk? Are we getting a Vegapunk arc at Elbaf? Is it going to be a separate island? What's going to happen with that? Why did Kuma sacrifice himself for Vegapunk? What was Kuma's vision, even though he was a part of the Revolutionary Army? Why did he do that for a Marine? You know, like, what's the connection there? What is Sword? Who leads it? Is it Garp? Is there any, like, who else belongs to it other than Kobe and Drake? And is Law on it? There's an interesting theory on that too. 9, what happened to Sabo and Alabasta, Vivi, and all the characters on Alabasta after the Reverie? We don't know. Number 10, does the Lunarians being overthrown have to do with the Void Century? Are they going to be mentioned when we go to that final Laugh-Tail Island? Are the Lunarians going to be mentioned somehow? Maybe. Could be. 11. Does Marijoa have a secret treasure? Doffy says this once he's captured. Is that true? Is it the Straw Hat that Im has? I don't know. Who exactly are the 5 elders and Im? Who is Im? And why does Im have a giant Straw Hat? I just said that. Why does he? 13. When will we hear Binks Sake again? I think we've only heard it once since the Thriller Bark celebration. I want to hear it again. 14. Where are the last 2 out of 4 road poneglyphs? 15. Usopp for Yasopp meeting. 16. Will the Charlie prophecy about a straw hat destroying the island come true? 17, will we see the other ancient weapons, the one like the Pluton that Frankie ripped up the blueprints to? And then Uranus, that's the unknown one. And then Shirahoshi we'll probably see. And then will Luffy use them to free the world? Or how will the ancient weapons be used if they are used? 18, how does the all blue form? This is Sanji's dream. Is it already just there? We got to find it. Is it like under Marijoa somehow when you destroy it? I don't know. 20, why did Shanks go to the 5 elders to warn them about someone? Who is that person? Is it Luffy? Is it Blackbeard? Probably one of those two. 21, when will we see Crocodile again? A question I really want answered. 22, Zoro Mihawk battle when? 23, when will we see Bugs Mr. 3 again? I love that duo. 24, will Luffy and Law and Zoro die early because their use of their life force to go all in the short term? Like Zoro's like dead right now in the manga. Luffy's also unconscious, and Law just used all of his strength against Big Mom. Are they going to die early because of that? 25. Will Law use his ultimate ability of the Op fruit to give someone extra life and make them like immortal? 26. Does Yamato officially join the crew? She has a dream of exploring the seas just like Odin. Is she going to do the same thing with like the Odin to Roger's crew parallel with Yamato to Luffy's crew parallel? Most likely. 27. Why did Kuzan Koji join Blackbeard? What's his motive? Tell me what's your motive. Motive by Ariana Grande. Great song. 28. How does Blackbeard have more than one devil fruit? I thought that was like a rule that Oda set. You can't have more than one devil fruit. It's broken. Why is it broken? 29. Where does Blackbeard place himself in the upcoming war with Revolutionary Army versus the Celestial Dragons and the Marines? He's not on either side. Is he there at all? Does Luffy just take him down before that happens? Don't know. Will we see the Green Bull Admiral anymore? Is he important? Is he strong? What's his power? Devil fruit? Interested. Edward Weevil used to be a warlord. Warlords no longer exist. What's his place in the universe? Why do the skies split when powerful people go against each other? Not too big. Is Laughtail an island? Is that like an actual island? It should be, but obviously, what is the Laughtail? Why does it provoke laughter? What is the physical treasure of the One Piece? What is the 100-year void century? What is all the knowledge that we learn there? Obviously, Joyboy, a bunch of questions. Was Joyboy the sun god Nika 800 years ago? Did he free the world and then somehow fail? Then why did he fail? Has something to do with the Lunarians again? What's with all the sun and moon symbolism in One Piece? Did Joyboy use the Gomu fruit and awaken it? And then whoever awakens the Gomu fruit becomes a Joyboy? Is Joyboy a person? A title? What's the significance of like the Straw Hat going from possibly Joyboy to people, then to Roger, to Shanks, to Luffy? Is what's going on there? Let me see. Why did the Marines protect the Gomu fruit? Why did Shanks steal the Gomu fruit and give it to Luffy? What's going on there? Why did Roger say he wished he was born in Joyboy's time? Why did Joyboy leave the One Piece in the first place? What's the significance there? What is Zunisha's crime and connection with Joyboy? Does Luffy want to become Joyboy and a Pirate King? Are those two separate titles? I don't know what's going on there. Any more importance to Will of D? Any more importance to trees being named Adam and Eve? 39, why did CP0 want to take down Who's Who? Like, what else does he know? 40, what are the fates of all the past warlords? Boa Hancock, Buggy, Mihawk, etc. 41, any more importance to the voice of all things? And 42, here's the theory question that I want to end off and then talk a little bit about. Is the One Piece Sake and the Laughtail Binks Sake? So in the latest chapter, we get Sunisha and Momo talking with the voice of all things, and Sunisha's like, I hear the drums of liberation. And one of the lyrics in Binks Sake is the drums of liberation, something similar to that, right? With the drums. And Binks Sake is like an old sea song that possibly could have been formed when Joyboy was in control 800 years ago, when the Marines didn't exist and he was atop of the whole entire world with the Lunarians, cool with everybody. The freest person ever. That was him. And one of the last lines in Binks Sake is like, tell this laughing tale, right? Which is literally means laugh tale. So Binks Sake, last lyric literally states laugh tale, and then the chorus is like yo ho ho ho, literally laughing. And Binks Sake is about sake, right? There's parts of it about sake, and sake is everywhere in One Piece. It's from the first chapter of Shanks offering one piece of sake to another person and the person declining it, to Luffy, Sabo, and Ace becoming brothers by sharing sake, to Luffy forming the Straw Hat Fleet after Dressrosa falls. When right before Luffy and Zoro meet for the first time, Zoro is drinking sake. Kaido drinks sake even though he's lonely. Obviously, Zoro loves sake. What are some other important moments with sake? I'll just be rolling them here in case I'm not mentioning them. We also have when Blackbeard and Luffy eat a pie together. Luffy doesn't like the pie, then drinks the One Piece sake, and then loves the pie and like is appreciative. So once you have the One Piece, you're appreciative. Don't know. But yeah, I think the physical treasure is sake. Don't have any other better guesses right now. And then Binks' sake is the laugh tale. And those two join together very well. And that those two also go along with the theme that Luffy's going to have the biggest party ever because everyone is free now. There's no more corrupt government. And that's what I want to see. So this latest chapter also had Luffy becoming Joyboy, apparently, maybe. Don't know how that's going to work. Need more information on that. But also, Luffy is officially awaking his fruit and becoming this liquid rubber, which should be exciting to see how he defeats Kaido in that manner. So that was my complete One Piece review, theorizing, just analyzing, giving my every opinion on One Piece. Probably going to be a very, very long video. There we got Luffy and Brook. Why can't I do this? Luffy and Brook right there. Luffy facing off himself in Thriller Bark. And then I don't know if Chopper and Luffy are still in frame as the plushies. But that was One Piece. I'm probably going to make another video when One Piece gets closer and closer to its end, which is going to be in like 5 to 10 years. So